Okay. So I wanted to share today an amazing letter the Rabbi came across, which I think is something that has a lot to say to every one of us. Of course, every letter the Rabbi writes is directed at the person he wrote, to the circumstance that the person was in. But nevertheless, there's something that I think we could all take from this letter. It was written to one person for his circumstances. Can you still see me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Just wanted to pull up the letter. Well, here we go. All right. Greetings and blessings. In response to your letter from the 28th of Av, and you describe your circumstances, and you quote what my father-in-law. This letter was written right after previous Rebbe's passing, so the Rebbe writes the appropriate title. You write in the year after someone passed away. You quote my father-in-law. The Rebbe wrote to you how you should set up Torah classes in your home, and not only should you set up Torah classes in your home, but you should make an effort to have as many people as possible join those classes. You also write to me that you are involved in gathering children together to study for Shabbos parties and during the week as well. And you also have set times for studying Torah. However, you don't have any satisfaction from this. And you feel you're missing something. And you ask my advice. So basically, the guy is writing to the Rebbe a letter about all the things he's doing, which all sound like great things. Not only the great things, but they're specifically things that he was instructed to do by the previous Rebbe. And he writes he's not satisfied. So his issue isn't that he's not doing the right thing. That's for sure. He's doing the right thing. His issue is that he's not satisfied. Asking the Rebbe's advice, how come not satisfied? So Rebbe responds, in my opinion, what you are missing is Kabbalah Sale. Kabbalah Sale means literally to accept upon yourself the yoke of heaven. That means that you feel that you are a servant of Hashem. So Rebbe continues. Acceptance of the yoke of heaven is the foundation and the source of all the service of Hashem. That's a quote from chapter 41 in Tanya. The author says that is the foundation of everything. The fact that you know who you're working for and the fact that you are a servant of Hashem, that's the foundation of all service of Hashem. But here, the Rebbe says how to get that. That's what we're meant to have Kabbalah. So meant to accept upon ourselves the yoke of heaven. But how do we get this? This letter is very interesting to me, not only because of there was one year, I don't know if you remember this, Yonatan, but there was one year that I think several of us wrote to the Rebbe, and we wanted to see if there was a response of the Rebbe, and we opened up his letters, and there was actually, I think, 3 people in the shul that opened up this specific letter a few years ago. Anyways, so let me just hold on a second. Okay, so usually when you think about Kabbalah Sale, you think acceptance of the yoke of heaven. So you're thinking about attaining a certain kind of relationship with Hashem, right? You want to achieve that you feel that you're accepted, that you're really there, accept upon yourself the yoke of heaven. And however, the Rebbe says to achieve this acceptance of the yoke of heaven, you don't need to have a unique and deep meditation. You don't need that. What you need to do, all you need to do, is to picture to yourself that the King of all kings, Hashem, blessed be He, created this world, and afterwards, after creating the world, God blew into man's nostrils a spirit of life. And this is your soul that gives life to your body. And Hashem is standing near you and is checking your heart and mind and all of your deeds and all of your words and all of your steps. He is counting. Let me just repeat that for a second. All you need to do to achieve this thing that chassidus always discusses, how this is the foundation of everything. In order to get this, you don't need to have a unique and deep meditation. You just need to picture to yourself the King of all kings, Hashem, created the world, and He gave you your soul that animated your body, that animates your body, and He is standing next to you, and He's checking your heart and mind and every word and everything you do and every step that you take. He's counting. So that's how you achieve Kabbalah. So that's how you achieve this relationship, not by long meditations, not by a regimen of years of meditation. Just picturing to yourself that God created the world and He gave you your soul, and He's near you and is looking at you and He's paying it and counting every word and every thing that you do and every step you take. In order to make this easier, Rebbe continues, God gave you an additional merit, and that is that you are a chassid. What is the meaning of a chassid? That means your soul is a part of a tzaddik soul. A tzaddik who has a large, I don't know what the word is in English. I want to say a soul, like a mother soul. A soul who has in that soul, other souls are connected to that soul. So the tzaddik is a mother soul, and in the tzaddik there is your soul is there as well. Your soul is a part of his soul. So if you're missing something in your soul privately, by having the appropriate connection to the tzaddik, you will receive all that's missing from you, from this mother soul. The Rebbe said clearly, the Rebbe is referring to the previous Rebbe, that when he accepted upon himself the leadership of the Jewish people, there was a condition that was made with him and his father, and the condition was that it should be b'chesed v'rachamim, that although he has to do a monumental task of leading the Jewish people, but the condition is that it's going to be with kindness and mercy. So Rebbe accepted this role, and from the moment he accepted this role, from the year Tafresh Pei, which was 103 years ago, that was the year that Rebbe Cashapp passed away, and the previous Rebbe became the next Rebbe. So the Torah says when one sun sets, next sun rises. So from Tafresh Pei, what's been happening since Tafresh Pei? The Rebbe continues. From Tafresh Pei, from what year is that? That's 1910, right? No, 1920. From 1920 until now, he is standing and drawing down to all of his students, to all of his chassidim, to all those who are connected to him, a power and energy in their service of Hashem. And that power and energy that he's giving, that he's drawing down for all of his students and all his chassidim, all those who are connected to him, that energy contains within it both matters that are between man and God and matters between man and man. In other words, the energy he draws down for every chassid and every student, those connected to him, is something that empowers them to do all areas in the service of Hashem, both between man and between man and God. I don't know if this is correct or not, but we learned a few months ago the meaning of the word connection versus the word attachment. In general, chassidus says that attachment is more than connection. We learned the Maimer about the difference between sacrifices and the incense. We learned that the word sacrifice in Hebrew comes from the word closeness. But the word incense in Hebrew, ketores, comes from the word connected. And the Rebbe explains that when you're connected to something, so it's not just that you're close to something, but you're never independent from the one you're connected to. When you're connected to someone, that means that you're not a separate entity anymore. Your life is about your connection. So I'm wondering if that's also appropriate interpretation for the Rebbe's classification of his students, then his chassidim, those who are connected to him. I wonder if that also bears relevance to that as well. That you could be close, but then you're your own man. There's like a rational you put a border where how far you're going to go and how far you're not going to go. And there's connected where there's no separate entity. You are totally your life is connected to him. Anyways, but that's just a level within connection to the Rebbe. The Rebbe says it doesn't matter about that. Whether you're a student or you're a chassid or you're connected, either way, the Rebbe, since the year he took on leadership of the Jewish people, he is drawing down life and power, vitality and energy in the service of God in both matters between man and man, and matters between man and God. In addition to this, besides the fact that you are one of his chassidim, you are one of his students, and therefore he certainly pays attention to you and draws to you specifically life and energy in your service of God. Besides that, the Rebbe chose you to himself, and he gave you a unique mission. It's known also from the perspective of the exoteric parts of Torah that when you send someone on a mission, the emissary is considered like the one who sent him. The one who sends the emissary and the emissary himself are considered the same. So it's understood automatically that in this mission that the Rebbe sent you on, he gave you from his strengths. As it says in the Maimer in Chayel this year, that the word mitzvah means connection, means attachment. And the previous Rebbe in that Maimer that I was quoting from gives the parable that when there is a simple guy, and the simple guy is asked by this incredibly wise man for a favor. So this forges a bond between the simple man and this incredibly wise man, even though they're not in the same realm, they're not living in the same world. The topography of they're in two different worlds. This man is totally into intellectual stuff, and this guy is a simple guy. This guy's a wood chopper and water carrier. This guy's the head of the tribe. And yet, when this chacham, when this, I don't want to even use the word wise men, this person who is totally in a different realm from this other guy, he's a tzaddik, he's in a different realm. Yet if he asks to do a favor from this other guy, there is a bond now. So too, every mitzvah, no matter who we are, a mitzvah creates a bond between us and God. Rabbi continues. So by the person doing the commandment of the wise man or of a king, even though he doesn't know the content of what he's doing, he doesn't understand the greatness of what he's doing, but his joy has to be infinite. He doesn't know what he's doing and why he has to do this. He still has to have an infinite joy. Why? Because by doing this, he's becoming one and connecting with the essence of the wise man and the essence of the king. So not only Rebbe says to this man, are you a chassid, but you've been chosen by the Rebbe to do a certain task, and therefore you are like the Rebbe himself. And the Rebbe has given you strength, and you're achieving even though you don't necessarily know why you have to do what you're doing, but what you're doing, the fact that you're doing it, makes a bond between you and the essence of the wise man and the essence of the king. There's a bond over here. There's an amazing bond that's being achieved by the fact that you are fulfilling this mission. The Rebbe continues. And despite all this, despite all things you have, you still complain that you don't have satisfaction, you don't feel energized, and you only feel that you're missing something. So you see where this is going, right? The Rebbe is telling him, like, you have so much. How come you feel like you're missing everything when you have so much? I'm doing now a parenting course with Rabbi Shais Taub. He's amazing. He says that parents have to feel the truth, which is that it says in the Torah that there are three partners in the creation of a child: a father, a mother, and Hashem. And just like when you have a partnership between people, one of the partners has all of the. If one of the partners has resources, so that's the shared resources of all the partners. So too, if Hashem is a partner with us in this endeavor of raising our children, we have infinite resources to do this. So that by the same token, Rebbe is saying over here, your soul is a part of the Rebbe's soul. And therefore, if you're missing something individually and personally, so you don't have the soul energy to do this, because you're part of the Rebbe's soul, first of all, you have that, number one. You're able to revitalize by virtue of that connection. Number two, in addition to that, you have to realize that you're not on your own. In the Hayom Yom, it says how it used to be in the relationship between a teacher and a student. There used to be a loneliness. The teacher was alone, the student was alone, and the teacher taught the student, but they were worlds apart. Chassidus accomplished, but the Rebbe is not alone, the Chassid is not alone. That's what it says over here. But what's the Rebbe doing since since he took on the leadership of the Jewish people? He is pouring into every single Chassid vitality and energy to do their mission in all areas. In addition to that, think about the fact that you are chosen by the Rebbe to do something. I want to point out that right now is the conference of the Chabad emissaries in New York, but the Rebbe said so many times that every single Jew in our generation is an emissary of the Rebbe, and therefore we are empowered by these words that the Rebbe is saying to this individual. It's not just this individual. Each of us has a mission. We're all part of the shlichus, so you all have a mission. And just like the Rebbe writes to this man that you are like the previous Rebbe himself, because he sent you on a mission. The Talmud says, you send someone on a mission, you're like the person himself. So you have the Rebbe's koiches, you have the Rebbe's energy. And there is a bond between you and the Rebbe that's achieved by the fact that you are given this mission. And so despite having all this, this guy is complaining. He doesn't feel any satisfaction, doesn't feel energy. He only feels he's missing something. So it continues. If you will listen to my voice, leave this excessive hisaininus. Hisaininus is like whining. Leave this excessive complaining and this excessive feeling of yourself. There was a Polish tzaddik once who someone asked him how you're doing. Someone else how he's doing. The guy says in Yiddish, he said, "Ich fühl sich nicht gut." I don't feel myself good. It means I don't feel good. But the word in Yiddish is I don't feel myself so good. So the tzaddik responded, if you feel yourself, it's for sure not good. That's what it continues right over here. Leave this excessive whining with excessive feeling of yourself, what you are missing and what you do have, and think about the wondrous portion that was given to you. That you are one of the students and one of those who are connected to our leader, to our Rebbe, and be joyful in the great joy of your portion, in your great portion. And this joy that you have in the fact that you've given such a blessing to have this portion, that joy should permeate, should channel into practical. Every use the words mamashias mamish, in practical activities, literally, to actually do what you're meant to do, and to fulfill the desire of the one who sent you. And you are given strength for this, and the only thing that you're missing is a desire to do it. So be joyful about the fact that you have this incredible your portion. That joy should impact what you're doing. That you do things practically, tangible. You do impactful things with tremendous joy to fulfill the desire of the one who sent you. And these powers that you are given to you, and all that you're missing is just the desire. It continues. When you will nullify your desire in favor of the desire of our Rebbe, that who is telling you the will of Hashem. So when you'll nullify your desire because of the Rebbe's desire, who is giving you who's relating to you the will of Hashem, that itself, the fact that you will nullify your desire, that itself will be the vessel. You know, you're listening. The fact that you nullify your desire itself, that will be the vessel to draw down energy in all of your activities in fulfilling the desire of my father-in-law, the Rebbe. They were saying that the very fact that you push yourself aside and you have Kabbalah Zelle and you take it, you have this acceptance of the yoke of your mission. That acceptance itself is a channel for energy in all of your activities. So the guy saying I'm missing energy, Rebbe is saying what you're missing is not energy. You're missing is you don't properly have this Kabbalah Zelle. You don't have this acceptance of the yoke of heaven. But the Rebbe continues over here that by accepting the yoke of heaven upon yourself, by accepting what Hashem wants you to do, which was told to you by my father and by the previous Rebbe, that will give vitality and energy in all the things that you're doing. The Rebbe concludes with a blessing. This letter was written in the month of Elul. So Rebbe concludes the letter with, "You'll be written and sealed for a good year. And I'm waiting to hear good news from you that you've added vitality, you've added courage, you've added energy. Omets. Omets is vitality and energy, courage. That you've added a courage in your service of God, both in your own personal service of God and in impacting others, and you're fulfilling the words of the Torah to serve God with joy. And then there sends to him this, concludes, I'm sending to you a certain discourse from the 18th of Elul that we were discussing earlier about how every mitzvah creates a connection. And so if you're sent on this mission, you are certainly given the power of the Rebbe, and there's a bond between you and the Rebbe because of the fulfillment of this mission. And that's the basic gist of the letter. Any questions, comments? Basic idea is that, yes, Beryl.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much.
What Rebbe is saying is that we have so much. We have to realize how much the Rebbe invests in each of us, how much he davens for each of us, and how lucky we are to be given this unique mission, each of us, to spread Torah and Yiddishkeit and the news of the coming Mashiach. We see it happen today, Mamish. Any other questions or comments? Yonatan, you have satisfaction? We have Kabbalah sale. You got both. All right, great. Must have chayas because Kabbalah sil brings chayas. It's the vessel for energy. The acceptance of it is putting away your desire. It sounds counterintuitive. You push your desire away, and that's how you're going to be energized. By nullifying your will for the will of the Rebbe, that's going to be a vessel to draw energy into you. Zev, you heard us?
Yeah. Who's writing Bais Bezalel this week?
Hey, Zev. You know what Pinchas said that, asked that question to Moses, and Moses told him, "One who reads the letter should fulfill it." All right. Good Shabbos, everyone. Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos. Good Shabbos.